Thank you all so much for joining us for the student panel session today. My name is Amanda Bishop, and I'm an admissions counselor here at Emory and Henry College. I'll be in the background for most of this session. I'll be fielding your questions for our current students. So if you have any questions, please feel free and type them in the chat box, and we'll make sure that they get answered. Now I'll just let our current students introduce themselves. If you would say your name, your year, major, minor, your hometown, and then any student organizations that you're a part of. Whoever wants to kick it off, go ahead.
I'll hop in. I guess. Hi, my name is David Eldridge. I am from, apologize, I totally forgot the questions. But
Sure.
I have some orientation experience. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm a junior. My majors are theater and mass communications. And I believe last question was my affiliations on campus or what I'm involved with. Several things, Greek life, as well as primarily this year's student government, or also referred to as SGI. I'm the SGA president for this academic year.
Awesome, thanks. Next.
I'll go ahead and go. So I'm Jeffrey Hurlock. I'm a junior on campus from Spotsylvania, Virginia. My major is business management with a minor in international relations. And I'm involved on campus with housing readiness life, Greek life, intramurals, and EVE.
Great, thank you.
So my name is Trent Allen. I'm a senior at Emory and Henry. I'm from Toms River, New Jersey. My majors are theater, Spanish. I have a minor in business management, and I am involved with a lot in Greek life with these guys, and then a couple other things as well.
Awesome. Thanks.
Well, I guess I'm last, hopefully not least. I'm Janae. I am a sophomore. Thank you guys, so sweet. I'm a sophomore and I'm from Cleveland, Tennessee, but now live in Lebanon, Virginia, so pretty close to Emory now. And I am a triple major, it's not as scary as it sounds, in economics, business management, and then I've created my own major about public policy and planning. And I'm involved in SGA along with David, the Calliopean Debate Society, now Greek life, Habitat for Humanity, and a few other things, but that's basically it.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. If any of the attendees or guests have questions, please feel free and type them into the chat box. In the meantime, I do have a couple that I've prepared, so we can just kind of go around and answer them as you'd like to. Can you talk about the factors that led you to choose to attend Emory and Henry?
We can go in the same order if y'all like. I need more time for this question. Some of the factors, what would definitely put it on my radar was my uncle actually went here. I graduated in 1970, and so word of mouth is a very effective way Emory and Henry tends to advertise itself. People who go here tend to have a lot to say about it and a lot of positive things. That was definitely true. The case with my uncle, and it was in sort of this 2-hour geographic bubble from Knoxville, Tennessee, where it was far enough away that it was feeling like leaving home and putting some distance between my parents, but then also not too far where I could still come back and do my laundry if need be. Beyond that, really, and mention, well, now that I've been here, mention Emory and Henry and be surprised by the reactions I got, how many people knew about it and how many people at least had some affiliation with it. And really everything I've heard so far has been positive, and I can confirm that. So I'll pass it on over to whoever's next.
Thank you.
Mine's kind of the same way how Dave started. Two of my good friends from high school attended here. They were a grade above me, and so that's how I found about it. And also the soccer team, the soccer coach reached out to me one day, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And so I didn't think about that until he reached out to me. And then I came on campus and got a tour, and then realized how like close knit everyone was on campus. I mean, I was a senior in high school and I was walking on a tour, and I had many people said hi to me and they had no clue who I was, but they were just very welcoming, you know, trying to be close to everyone. And then class size was a big one for me. So 10-1 with classes, and that was big to me. So like I am able to like know my professor on a personal level instead of just being like a number at a big college. So those are the big factors that helped me choose where I wanted to go.
Great, thanks.
So for me, I found Emory online. Considering I'm far away, I'm not like these guys where I'm fairly close enough to hear by word of mouth. So I found it online. I came for a campus visit, and kind of like what Jeffrey said, everybody was really nice. Everybody wanted like to get to know who I was. I wasn't just a face or a statistic, and people are a lot nicer in Virginia than they are in New Jersey. So that was also a really big thing for me of why I went. But yeah, everybody was really nice, and when I got to campus, I took the tour. It felt like home. Like it felt right. Like I just knew in that moment, like this is where I'm going to spend my next 4 years.
Great.
And I guess we're all answering this one. So for me, I actually only looked at large schools, with the Emory being the only exception. So I went as far north as New York and as far south as New Orleans to look at some pretty prestigious schools. And so I was kind of set on pride and prestige coming into college, but I toured Emory, ended up staying for like 4 hours longer than my tour, and just realized that people care about investing in you. So you don't have to fit into some specific mold to be prestigious. You get to, do your own work and on your own merit, really make things happen in college. And so academics was huge for me. I'm in the honors program at Emory. But I think thank you, Trent. So is David. I don't know why he's coughing. But anyways, I think you can be an academic here just because it's a college. I know that I kind of got hung up on that. That doesn't make it different. We have exceptional professors. We have exceptional people. And dare I say, we have more opportunities to branch out academically because it's a smaller institution than a large institution.
Great, thank you all so much. I have a couple questions from Audrey. First, what is your favorite thing about campus? You can say a few things.
I would start this one. Dave, I'll give you a chance. The other thing I like campus wise is back to everyone being friendly and close knit. I would say I'm more involved than the average student. But I mean, my freshman year I was involved with just men's soccer, and I would walk to and from my room to CAP to class, whatever, and I would talk to at least 5-6 people on campus along that journey who I had like no clue who they were. They would just stop and talk to me for whatever reason. And that's probably, the big thing I like about campus is you don't have to, be in a certain group or a certain mold like Janae said. You can talk to whoever is around and they'll be willing to talk to you also, which is awesome.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Jeffrey, man. The people are fantastic at the school. It really is mind blowing just how nice everybody is. I walk up the hill down from the calf up to like where my highest like class is building wise. There's like 8 people who I'll stop and talk to. I'm like potentially late for class most of the time. It's not good. I should probably leave my room earlier. But everybody's so nice. Duck Pond is just really great. It's a beautiful campus. You go take like a nature walk, just literally at any point of the day because we're right there. There's just so much that this place offers. It's hard to pick one.
One thing that a lot of people will say is their favorite thing is outdoors stuff. I know a ton of my friends from big cities and small, that's like one of their main reasons for attending. I'm not athletic, not super outdoorsy, but that's a beautiful thing about the campus is, you can experience that. So I've gone on a couple hikes and a couple outdoors things. I was the person that didn't really go to my high school football games and that sort of thing, but I go because I, like the guys have said, connect with the people. So I have friends on the football team, which I never really thought I would say, being so unathletic. I don't know when they fumble, I don't know when they score, but just, you go and support your friends. So if there's a lyceum about chemistry, I'm definitely not a science major, but I'll go with my best friend because that's what she's into and I'll enjoy it because of that tight knitness. So it's just, there's that term we all have to learn in high school about being like a Renaissance man and or woman, and just, being involved in a lot of different things. I think you get a slice of so many different aspects of life at Emory, which is really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I can bring much new to what's been already offered. But I will extend that general friendliness that everyone's talking about is definitely present in the student body, but also in the faculty and staff. And it's really that small campus appeal, which, is an appeal to some and not an appeal to others. But for me personally, just being able to have everyone so accessible in my major, or really if I need to pursue something extraneous to my academics, any extracurricular, I know who to go to, or I know someone who's involved, or I know someone who knows someone who's involved. And I think the campus community too is just very vibrant. Of course, given the circumstances of COVID-19, fortunately, this semester is a little different. But I think once we get back to some more normalcy, everyone will be so incredibly starved, it'll really pop off. But given that we're in the location we in Southwest Virginia, you might be able to hear a train coming by right now. That's secretly my favorite thing about Emory Henry. Uh, it is, in a rural location. It's definitely not too many huge college towns around, but to compensate, sort of the campus environment is so incredibly active, and it's makes you not want to leave campus or have an urge to try to find that elsewhere because it's the college town just in Emory, Virginia, which really only put on the map because of it.
Can I add to David's real quick?
What did you say, Jeff?
I said I want to add to yours real quick. About the vibrant life on campus. Another thing I like of is that Emory always has something going on. We always have. I mean, like Janae said, she's not athletic, but even if it's not like a sport event or she's not part of a sports team, there's different events hosted by Eve, a theater show going on, or some type of event going on where you can attend and participate, which is something I really enjoy on campus because I mean, I play soccer here, but I don't want to, be at sports all the time. I want to do something different. And so I can go to watch Trent, a theater show, or I can go watch, some musical performance or, a talent show or something. There's so many different options, which I also enjoy.
Awesome. Well, you all sort of answered Audrey's other question. Are there a lot of fun things to do on campus? So if you want to elaborate on that, you can. If not, I think you all have done a great job answering that as well.
David or Jeffrey, would you talk about EBE just for a moment? Because I remember not really knowing it existed. But
yeah, I can do Eve. So with me being the vice president of Eve, I can talk about that. The Emory's Activity Board, short for long for Eve, I guess, is a student-ran organization that hosts different programs on campus, anything other than like a team sport or an affinity team. So we have events such as Quidditch, laser tag, dodgeball. We have different professors on campus who have like their own band come in and perform for us. Different comedians would come in and talk and do whatever jokes they got, or a magician would come show magic tricks. And we have all sorts of stuff. We have night golf, glow in the dark frisbee. It's all sorts of different events that we host throughout the week and throughout the semester for students to attend. Just so they can stay involved on campus. And it's completely free, so that's awesome. So that's pretty much what Eve is. And if you come to campus and want to be a part of it, you most certainly can.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. Kristen had a question. Again, I think we've already sort of answered this one, but you're welcome to elaborate too. What activities can freshmen participate in around campus, and what are your favorites?
If I remember my freshman year correctly, I don't think there is much of a limit of what first years can participate in compared to upper class. I mean, there's some activities where you have to, you get involved your first year, and then it opens up more opportunities the longer you're in. Greek life is a second semester first year, or really whenever you like to get involved, if you'd like to get involved. But I remember maybe haphazardly getting over involved in so many things my first year. Emory Activity Board for one, not only attending events, but becoming a member in that. Really any organization or club that I heard about through word of mouth. What are some of my favorites? I really did enjoy being involved in Emory Activity Board. I also really enjoyed, really hard to limit it, honestly. I'll take a moment to think about that. I jumped into it too early. Pass it off to someone else.
Well, as the baby of this group, I guess I remember the most vividly. I'm still 18 currently as a sophomore, so if that gives you an idea. Yes, Trent. But you were allowed to bring your car on campus, which was really nice. Not that that's an activity, but it is something living in a rural area that's kind of helpful. But also as far as clubs, you could definitely do anything, SGA, Calliopean. A lot of things just got opened up, and there's leadership opportunities too for freshmen. So if you're looking to start and really stick with something for something you're really passionate about, this is a great place because age does not matter. You don't have to be a junior to be, an officer in a group or something. So if you're looking for not only involvement, but leadership, there's that opportunity.
Yeah, there's really no limit to what first years can do. The only thing I can think of is you can join Greek life in your second semester, not your first. That's really the only thing I can think of in my time. That's, yeah.
Looking at the question here in the chat, Callie, I'm assuming, Miss Krager. I don't see the difference between first year as opposed to transfers, especially those that will be a junior. I remember, well, my one of my close friends actually came in as a transfer her sophomore year, and of course I can't speak for the transfer experience, but it's there's really not much of I mean, you were brought in, similar to the first years in a separate cohort for transfer students. But I mean, you tend to, gosh, I mean, it was pretty seamless for her getting involved in, her major and any organizations. When she came in, she kind of not only had that transfer cohort, but very quickly was assimilated into campus. And I think that's very similar to the first year experience. Everyone is very welcoming. And yeah, I think for a transfer student, it's really not that dissimilar the first year experience. All the doors are open, whatever you choose to pursue.
Great, thank you. Madeline asks, how is the transportation on campus and around campus, and would I need a car to leave campus?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. How is the transportation on campus and around campus? Would I need a car to leave campus?
Go ahead, Trent.
As someone from out of state, yes, you'll absolutely need a car. I think personally, you can have some friends that'll have cars, carpool and everything like that, but definitely a car would be helpful, some form of transportation. I saw around campus, I saw some guys get like Razor scooters. Blew my mind because it's so genius. So maybe invest in a Razor scooter or a bike or something. I don't know, but But yeah, to really like go anywhere outside of campus, you're gonna want to have some form of transportation that can take you on the interstate or the back roads or something like that.
And then with on-campus transportation, like Trent said, you can get a scooter or a bike or a skateboard or something. But the campus is pretty small, and so you can get from one side of campus to the other side within like 10 minutes. So I wouldn't be too worried about on-campus transportation unless you're, like Trent said, going off campus and you need a car.
I believe we're also, of course, COVID-19 has disrupted some things, but there was talk of trying to create a shuttle, or similar to how some other campuses do, to shuttle students down to areas such as Bristol, or even as simple as, the grocery store in Abingdon, just for students who don't have a car on campus and don't have access to that consistently. That is non-existent to my understanding as of now, but it was definitely something that was talked about over this summer. And yeah, no, speaking of on-campus transportation, I would also like to say I've seen Heelys, I've seen rollerblades. Really, it's like a time capsule for any obscure Nickelodeon thousands. People are bringing out all of the transportation.
Great, awesome.
Hey, Bree.
Is religious like, oh, sorry.
I see Bree's question. The barn
Yeah.
is not walking distance, so it's off exit 10 and campus is off exit 26. So you will need a car to get to the barn. I mean, it would be more beneficial, but you can walk if you choose to. I don't recommend.
Yeah, and I also know with the equestrian program, a lot of times they'll carpool and stuff like that. So you don't necessarily need to have your own. It would be beneficial, but that's up to you there. Let me find that one. Audrey asked, is religious life big on campus? Do a lot of people get involved in it?
So as far as I'm aware, it's a big thing on campus. I'm personally in one of the groups. We meet like Tuesdays at like 6:30, I want to say, and we'll just talk about like a certain passage or something like that. People bring in presentations. There's a whole different way to get involved with it. Also, you don't have to just be this particular sect of this particular religion. If there's something that you want that's not offered right away, you can go talk to like one of the chaplains or anybody really, and they'll put you in contact with someone of how to get started with what you want if there's not something that is already there for you.
Yeah, I'll add to that. Spiritual life is really big on campus, which is pretty encompassing. And that extends to, I know we have an interfaith program, which I believe its intention is, as the name suggests, to be inclusive of a lot of different faiths. And then also it gets more specific, given that we're a Methodist affiliated college. There's an FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and more, really, depending on what religion you're a part of or how you like to explore that, I think that it's very easy to do so. And there's a lot of offerings. So yeah, spiritual life we even had a spiritual life housing arrangement, a specific house for it. That was as of last year. Things have altered, of course, this year, but yeah, I think it's very big on this campus.
And then we do have a chapel on campus, but if you don't attend that, it's cool. But I know me and my friends, we do attend a church off campus, and I know many people do also. So that is a big thing within the student body here.
All right. Kristen asks, what clubs does Emory and Henry have? Is there a book club or other clubs similar to that? I'm curious as to what clubs there are, if there are any.
Oh, there's so many clubs. There's like 80 clubs on campus. And so to be honest with you, I can't name them off. There is a book club, I'm sure, or some type of book club. But if not, you can always create your own. That's always an option. And so I know Janae, one of her good friends, created a chess club, and so that was an option. So he created it, and now it's probably one of the popular ones on campus. So if you get on campus and there's not a book club that you're looking for, feel free to create one.
I know we have a poetry society. I believe we have one. I've heard of it. I think there's maybe a few active. The Frosiana Poetry Society. And so there's definitely some adjacent clubs, book clubs. Just like Jeff said, it's very easy to find a group of people, particularly in your cohort, first year or a transfer, that want to get involved in an organization and just start that informally, and then even take steps to making that an official group. I did that with an improv club actually, my freshman year. Still informal, but very easy to really find people who want to get involved in things that you enjoy.
We have a dance team, so you can go to the dance team. That's pretty cool.
And kind of to follow up on that, there are affinity groups and the dance team, rugby, outdoor adventure team, which I kind of referenced earlier, civic leader society. So if you really like volunteerism and activism, that'd be a great club for you. There are certain clubs that come with a stipend or scholarship, if you will, to the amount of just over $1,000. So if your passions are pretty singular into one of those things, I'd encourage you can look it up on Emory and Henry's webpage actually, but that's something that a lot of students, get involved in to feel plugged in. I say a lot, but then there's a good percentage of the school that also doesn't know about them because they're pretty new. But if you're looking for a cohort kind of base group, not just something where you can come in and out, you want to actually be kind of loyal to a cause or something like that, or a passion, I'd suggest kind of looking into those.
We also are starting to form a step team, I'm pretty sure too. So that's also a thing to get involved with.
I'm just attaching a link to those performance and affinity groups as well really quickly. Here we go. Okay, awesome. If anybody has any other questions, please continue to type them in. I'm going to go back to that list that I have. Do you participate in any community service, and is it easy to get involved in community service on campus?
So during the week of welcome, like your introduction week to the campus, everybody everybody gets involved with community service, and some in their transitions group, like their freshman experience class into college. So everybody gets involved in that way. And then also there's civic innovation. If you are big into community service, that is definitely something that Emory and Henry prides itself on. It's like 99% of students participate in volunteer service in some capacity throughout their time at the college. So we're very big on community service here.
Speaking to is it accessible and easy to get involved? I know there are several, such as a food pantry nearby. I can't remember the name of it.
Loaves and Fishes.
That's one of them. There's actually another one that in the area of the greater Southwest Virginia area. And then for service plunges, as Trent is referencing, that you experience in your first year, your orientation experience, all of that happened very locally. Most of it in Glade Spring, which if you look it up on a map, it's pretty much Emory, Virginia, very close by. And yeah, there's a lot of opportunities locally for service.
Great, thank you. Madeline asks, are there a lot of internship opportunities?
Yes, there definitely are. I'm going to speak on that one a little bit because I work in the Career Center. So there are so many internship opportunities available. You walk into the office, you just send an email to one of the people that are there. and they will be more than happy with helping you find an internship. We have partnerships with a bunch of local people. We've had some people have internships with like sport teams, like the Charlotte Hornets. I say sport teams, like I know what I'm talking about with sports. But yeah, like basically anywhere you can think of, we have had someone do an internship there, it feels like. And if there's a place that you want to have an internship at, they will help you go through that process of getting one with that organization or company. So there's definitely a lot of ways to get involved. They'll post internships and jobs to one of our websites that we have at school as well. So you can always stay connected and stay in contact with people who you would want to work for.
Awesome, thank you. What is the student to teacher ratio?
10-1.
Go ahead.
10-1.
Yes,
So,
yep.
10-1, and then generally in a gen ed class, it's like 25-1, which is still pretty good.
Yeah, thank you. Can you all elaborate on scholarships, and do you know any that I could apply for? And I can answer that if you all don't want to as well.
Do you want to, since you're the counselor?
Sure, yeah. So we have a ton of different scholarship opportunities. Every student who is admitted to Emory and Henry will receive an academic merit scholarship, and that is based on your application and your high school GPA. Let's see. And that's going to be a renewable scholarship all 4 years that you're a student here. And it'll stay the same amount as well. The Performance and Affinity Scholarship link that I sent a few minutes ago, that is actually a link to some of our other scholarships as well. So I definitely recommend to check that out. You can apply for up to 3 of those organizations, and you can choose one to actually receive a scholarship for. Additionally, we take the FAFSA, so whatever aid that the FAFSA determines that you're eligible for, we will also accept that too. I would definitely recommend reaching out to your specific admissions counselor as well. We are always more than happy to talk with you on the phone, text, email, to go over specific scholarships and things that you're eligible for. Callie mentioned the Phi Theta Kappa scholarship. Same thing, definitely reach out to your admissions counselor. If you are transferring in, that would be Mary Bolt, and she would be able to answer all of your specific scholarship questions.
And can I talk about kind of an internship / scholarship? Just
Absolutely.
I don't know, it's kind of a catch-all for me, but I
Sure.
really intentional about, the first week of class. I made a point to make a meeting with every single professor that I had, just to create that personal connection here at Emory. The professors already try and do that, but I did that, and so I became super close to one, ended up declaring that as my major for econ, and I mean that professor calls me her daughter now. Like, I'm really close with her and we have conversations. But anyways, she had some department money and was like, if you find something you're passionate about and are willing to research, I'll let you do an academic study as an intern, but it's also kind of, I'm going to pay you like a scholarship, not like an intern. So it's kind of a weird half scholarship, half internship thing, but it's going to be something not only that I'm getting money for school, but I can put on my resume, and she's making sure I'm doing it in a really professional sense and that sort of thing. So that's just an opportunity that maybe you won't see listed super traditionally, but that's one of the amazing things about Emory. There's so many out of the box kind of ways to do things that are going to make you really stand out on your resume, because it's something I created. And I mean, I'm looking at something really weird. I'm looking about Southwest Virginia employment and its effects on recidivism at different salary rates and all these things. So I think, I don't know, I'd suggest that you make those relationships not only with the Career Center, but with your professors, because those two coupled together are going to make some really beautiful opportunities happen for you.
Awesome, thank you so much. Let's see, we have about 10 minutes left, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time in case you have classes or other things after this. I guess so, to kind of wrap everything up, what is your favorite tradition at Emory and Henry College?
Could you tradition? I guess
Well, if we're going food-wise, I definitely like that fried chicken Wednesday or the chicken nugget Friday, 100%. That's definitely what it is. But that's just the food side. Let me keep thinking about the other one.
Bro, my friends and I made it a point every Friday to go to Chicken Nugget Friday at 5 and eat as many chicken nuggets as we can. We made it a point every Friday my dog is right here, I'm sorry. Every Friday at 5, we would go get chicken nuggets. It was the greatest. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think one I would probably go for is Homecoming. Homecoming's definitely one I look forward to. It's just, seeing a bunch of alums, watching the football game, and just having a grand old time.
David, are you wanting to go or are you still thinking,
Oh,
bud?
I'm sorry. No, I'm trying to think of ones that aren't just exclusive to like me and 4 or 5 other people. My group, for example, just going that improv club I brought up, tradition of like seeing these same people and doing the same sort of thing that just keeps us close is what I really enjoy. I think chicken nugget Friday, fried chicken Wednesday. I also say, yeah, this is a little obscure, but I feel like that train going by, while I do joke about it, I don't know exactly what tradition that encompasses. The tradition of having a conversation outside and then just ceremoniously everyone stopping simultaneously for about 30 seconds to a minute as a train blows by, and just this sort of comfortable silence, knowing that that's what we signed up for and that's what we enjoy. Yeah, I'll let you go for it.
So I guess my favorite tradition is Christmas dinner. I think it's Christmas or Thanksgiving. It's one of those winter holidays. I think Christmas because then my friends and I packed into my roommate's car, which is significantly smaller than mine. So it did not make sense. But anyways, we put a kid in the trunk, people sat on people's laps, and we drove to the MCA, which is our performance building, and watched the Christmas showcase concert. I'm missing the word, but it was just wonderful because faculty and staff and all sorts of people are invited to bring their families to this dinner, and the dinner is really good, and it's like traditional holiday food. So if you're feeling homesick, like, yes, my house was kind of close to Emory, like an hour away, but I never went home unless it was a holiday. So it did make it feel really homey, although Emory already felt that way. And then you got to go see people you knew perform these lovely songs and in this Christmas spirit, and it was wonderful and packed. Pre-COVID, it was packed, and everyone felt so cozy. And so that was a really good feeling, and I felt close to my friends. And then I think afterwards we did like Secret Santa or something. So it was just a day full of festivity, and that made it really exciting.
I can talk about Lauren's question about what dorm you recommend. With me being in housing, and I don't know, if you're a first year, you don't really have an option. You either live in Hickory or Elm, or one floor of Mawa, or Wiley Jackson. That's my fault. But if you're coming in as a transfer or upperclassman, you can choose between the Village, which is like apartment style, where you have 6 people in a house with a common area, and then you have 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom. Or you have Hillman, which is all singles, which is community bath. Or you have Mall, which is split between singles and doubles with community bath also. Unless you're in honors, and then you have Weaver, which is kind of the same as Mawa, which is split between singles and doubles. So there's not really one you can recommend. It all depends on a preference. I kind of have my personal bathroom, so I am in the Village, but it's all up to preference. I know a lot of people prefer Wawa, because it's great community over there. But it's all a personal preference.
Great, thank you. And kind of in that same vein, Callie asks, are any of you commuters and don't live on campus? Or can you have any input there?
My friend that Jeffrey referenced earlier, I almost called you Jerry, sorry, that Jeffrey referenced earlier is a commuter, and he's actually my boyfriend, that's why we're all laughing. But he's super involved on campus, and so, I don't know, I always kind of thought if you're a commuter, you'd go to your classes and then go home, and you're not eating meals and that sort of thing, but I think he's around campus more than I am, and I lived in a dorm. It was a small dorm. It was Weaver, the one that Jeffrey referenced. But yeah, I'd suggest it's not the end of the world if you decide to commute. Emory does have a policy that I'm sure Jeffrey knows more about, that you have to have a pretty legitimate reason for living off campus, like if you're already local or something like that. Whereas a lot of institutions like Appalachian State and that sort of thing, like encourage people to live off campus. Emory does not. They pride themselves on being residential. So that's just something to kind of keep in consideration.
I know someone that was from Kingsport, and they commuted to and from campus. So I think that's an hour. I don't really know geography or time or
50
anything
minutes.
down there. What's up?
50 minutes.
Yeah, 50 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So I guess if it's within the hour, I don't know, but like I'm sure there's some range with that. And there are fraternities and sororities on campus to answer that question.
Yeah, Greek life is
16,
pretty huge.
yeah, Greek life is huge on campus. I think there's about 16 groups overall. I think it's 8 and 8, just about. So there's definitely tons of options if you're looking to get involved in Greek life as well.
All right. Audrey asked, how is the dessert bar?
I'm actually, I'll jump in this. I'm a big fan of our dessert bar. We have, particularly if you get a fresh batch of cookies, there's really nothing better. You can go ahead and skip the entree. That's where you want to set up, right next to there. But beyond that, it's pretty quality. I mean, it's not a chocolate fountain, but I enjoy it. And there's also, beyond just the baked goods, there's also, ice cream, soft serve, and any sort of brand affiliation. There's Brown Cow, there's ice cream sandwiches, you got Mayfield. Yeah, I'm a fan of the dessert bar. I think we have a quality selection.
Awesome. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Unless anyone has any last minute questions. Awesome. But thank you all so much for attending, and thank you to all of our panelists for giving your input. And I really appreciate your time. And if anyone has any other questions, please feel free and reach out to me or your admissions counselor, and we will certainly answer all of those questions.